And we were really scared of bears, but we weren't at the same time as we really wanted to see the bears. We heard there were lots of bears, so we were cooking hot dogs. We kept laying hot dogs in the yard and like sitting there waiting for bears. Hi, we're Tour Vacation, eating lollipops. You're on DIFFUS magazine. We're gonna talk about our next album coming up. Tune in. Welcome.
Tuna.
Can you describe the band in 3 words?
Really good.
How did you settle on your pop sound?
We're from Sweden. It's so dark and cold, so people make quite sad music mainly, or angry. Like we're quite happy. It's not really natural for us to be sad or angry. I think pop music was the most natural course.
Everything is dark and gray and raining all the time, so we feel like we need to bring some summer into it.
Yeah.
What is so special about the Silence Studios?
It's very deep into the Swedish forest, and there's no phone reception, no anything. You can't be reached. You can't reach anybody.
It was like built by a hippie collective in the 70s, so there's like a lot of music and sex in the air.
And nothing has been touched. Really,
No.
like it's basically the same thing as it was in the 70s. The only thing we could do was to write music and record music, so it was very nice.
How did a typical day look like while recording?
Well, depends on if it was early in the week or like later in the week. Probably wake up. It was really nice because there was usually always somebody in the room recording, but we'd like go off in pairs. So maybe we were like tracking guitars or something, and the other guys might be outside in the sun, like making lunch.
I usually woke up. I got woken up by them recording drums, I remember.
Yeah.
Every morning they started with drums, so that was a wake-up call.
And we were really scared of bears. So, but we weren't at the same time as we really wanted to see the bears. We heard there were lots of bears, so we were cooking hot dogs. We kept laying hot dogs in the yard and like sitting there waiting for bears.
Why is your new album titled Expedition Nowhere?
It started coming about when we were out there in the studio, and it was really cool because we just had no other choice than to hang out and to make music. And heading out there, it felt like we were going nowhere, but we had like a destination.
Kind of binds into the whole like pandemic too, I guess.
It does, and it's also like that old cliche of the journey being the goal.
How do you mix darker lyrics with your bright sound?
Can I hit you with a cliche? No, it's not a cliche, but can I hit you with a quote? Tom Waits said, "I like beautiful melodies telling me horrible things." And that's always been like something in the back of my mind.
Isn't like living is only dying in slow motion, that's stolen, right?
The thing is, like, I came up with it, but somebody came up with it before me. Sure. But it's still original. Okay, yeah, well, sure, everything's stolen though, always, isn't it? Like, it's like it's 2022. Like, there's been a lot of people saying smart shit before.
How did you come up with your band name?
Tour Vacation, I think, is probably like the end goal, maybe. The name comes from a novel, I think, or a short story called Tour Vacation. And then a few years later, we actually read the novel, and it's about like, it's some kind of Lord of the Flies kind of thing. So it's all children killing each other. But I guess to get back to your question, yeah, we try to work as much as we can all the time. Yeah,
we do, but also like pretending like it's not a great time, it would be ridiculous. Like, sure, it's hard work, but it's also like hanging out with your friends and playing music, yeah. So it's fun.
Do you feel like indie music is still popular?
The cool kids will always like indie rock, but not all the kids are cool. Like when we grew up, it was very different. Like Mano Diao was the coolest thing, and the Hives and stuff like this. And it's not the same anymore. But everything goes in cycles and stuff, and rock and roll will never die.
How did you connect with your current label?
We just got a call from our manager, and he said there's a record label that wants to work with you. And then we had a meeting with Johan. And turns out he was the coolest cat ever. Like, he was so cool, and he kind of made you feel like you could trust him a lot. We love everybody there. We love the label, and yeah, it's like our little German family.
Yeah.
What are some exciting bands from Sweden right now?
I'm gonna say 2, but they sing in Swedish. But it's so good, you gotta check it out. Our drummer's little brother's band is called Styva Linan. So Styva Linan, and it's super good. And also Cain och Abel, or Cain and Abel from Stockholm, super good.
I think a band called Girl Scout, you really need to check out. They're really good.